Yo, you guys, it's Christian and Corey from Super Comic Guru 9000, and we are here to review Naruto Chapter 536. So Bee comes out of the waterfall, and Iruka's right there, and he's like, oh man, you let him go? Actually, he says other words, but we won't say that.
Yeah, he does. He says, motherfucker!
And then, so that's pretty much what happens, and Iruka's like, oh, I wasn't strong enough to keep him here.
What he really wanted to say was, oh, I don't have any good enough techniques to take Naruto down. I mean, really, what are Iruka's techniques? His kunai, throwing, teaching.
His teaching skills, because he's going to school you.
After this, Iruka's like, please protect Naruto!
He's like, well, I'm not going to do it, but okay, let's do it. And they seal the deal with a fist bump.
This chapter has a lot of redundancy in it, in the fact that we get to see the same conversation we've seen every single time with Iruka, and Bee reinforces it even further.
Yeah, so Bee just goes through, you know, I've seen in Naruto and I see you in Naruto, that kind of idea. And
Iruka's shocked by this.
Yeah, why is Iruka shocked by this? It just makes no sense, because Iruka was picked because he has this effect on Naruto. Why was he there with the third-class ninja? Why? Because he was going to surprise Naruto. And now he's like, whoa, I mean something to Naruto? Duh, duh, duh. It cuts quickly to Naruto, and he is eating the note that Iruka gave him. And this is just kind of symbolism, in my opinion, for him, like, keeping the message with him for the entire war and keeping Iruka with him.
Another thing that's funny, you know, after eating this, it made me think, I wonder if Naruto's, like, thinking to himself, I wonder what that crow's doing in my stomach right now. And then he's like, ooh, ramen. There's one panel in this chapter that I really, really love. It's the last panel of Iruka, and you see the expression on his face, and he just looks so disappointed. And you know he's thinking to himself, dang it, this is the last time I'm going to have any relevance in this series.
So Zetsu is attacking the feudal lords, and the Mizukage stops him. And that's pretty much it, and he's just like, well, I'm going to have to defeat you guys first.
The next panel again, cuts to Raikage being pissed as usual, doing his smashing the table crap. You know, I wouldn't want to be a table if I was around the Raikage, you know what I mean? But anywho, basically they're saying that now that Naruto's escaped, they're going to set up this barrier that he can't get through. 36 layers, actually. That's a big-ass burrito. But the point is, this is all just a big setup because, you know, we know that Naruto is just going to break through anyway. Naruto and Bee are heading towards the barrier, and we get to see the barrier team setting things up. And they had this really, really cool, epic speech before. They're basically like, we've been waiting our whole lives for this, guys. We've been training for this big moment. And again, this is just another one of those, you know these guys are just going to completely fail. And guess what? They do fail. They're doing this epic speech. We're never going to fail. We got this. Oh, crap! Naruto freaking appears. Bee appears in his big-ass octopus ox form. And he does the big bijou ball, and then they do an alley-oop move. He actually shoots it out and makes Naruto hit the barrier with it, and it's like alley-oop. And they break right through the barrier, no problem whatsoever. Another team failed.
Pretty much. And then we see Zetsu immediately sense the two Jinchurikis and tell Madara. And this is pretty much our segue to the end of the chapter. Before Madara leaves, he says it's time for me to join the fight, as he's standing behind the gigantic Geto Mazu statue with its hands bowed like this. And he says, it's also time for me to steal a substitute. So keep this in mind. Madara is going to steal a substitute, not necessarily fight.
This chapter's delivering on a lot, and of course it gives us our 10-10 back, our one-panel wonder. And things aren't looking good for her, as she's lying on the ground pretty much just about to die because of overusing the banana fan, and she actually says, someone help, dying! Oh, it's so disappointing.
Those are her only 3 words in this chapter. And it's just really funny because it's finally happening for the Shinobi Alliance. They are winning. You can see that they are standing above a pile of Zetsus, and they're finally coming out on top, and all the Edo Tenseis are getting destroyed. We see Kakazu pretty much immobilized, and all his masks are broken. And we don't see Dan, or maybe I missed him, but Dan might still be out on the battlefield. I also see Choji holding someone in his fists, so it may be Dan right there, or it could just be his former master. So this chapter ends with one of the most metal Naruto endings we've seen in a while. The Geto Mazu statue erupts from the ground and breaks its chains and just looks, well, frankly, pretty badass and pretty scary and pretty intimidating.
It's even cooler, you know, like you said, the statue itself looks really cool, but you can actually see Madara sitting like right underneath its legs, and it looks really awesome. Like, you know, no one's gonna mess with this guy, and at this point, we don't know how he's going to use the statue. He might use it how Nagato did, where he had like all the dragons come out of its mouth and start like sucking away the souls of all the people, or it might just start going Godzilla style all over everybody. But it's just an awesome way to end the chapter.
And also, we have to keep in mind that Madara is here to steal a substitute. And in my opinion, and a theory I have, he's going after the Kinkaku brothers, or the one they have sealed in the pot. So that's probably what he's going to do to charge the Geto Mazo statue with more Ninetales chakra, or finally, some Ninetales chakra. So this is my theory, and this is the end of Naruto chapter 536. Okay, guys, for rating, we're going to do something a little different this week. Usually we do a 1 to 5 scale, but now we're going to expand it to a 1 to 10 scale. Because, well, we thought 1 to 5 was pretty limiting, and we kept giving 3 out of 5s a lot, and we were like, there's more to this than that. So, for this chapter, we're going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Because it was great build-up, some awesome action, and just some great setups. And, you know, it wasn't perfect because we still haven't seen big names fight, but it looks like we're about to. And that's the awesome part, and that's what we're saving our 10s out of 10s for. Okay, guys, we got 2 questions of the week. Mine is, why do you think Madara needs a substitute to seal with the Geto Mazo statue? We know all the other Jinchuriki animals and, you know, beasts have been sealed within this thing, so obviously, maybe with some Ten Tails chakra, it's going to be able to do some new technique or something like that.
My question is a little interesting this week. First, it's a theory, something that I've been thinking about for a long time. Before they even introduced the concept of a ten-tailed beast, I've always realized there was something kind of special about that Geto Mazo statue. See, beforehand, when we would always see the bijou being sealed inside of it, you'd notice that every single time it was finally sealed, an eye would actually open up on the little bandana that it's wearing around its eyes. And my theory is this. Eventually, when all of the 9 demons are actually sealed within the Geto Mazo statue and all of the eyes actually open, the banana will fall off and all of the actual eyes will converge into one, and it will eventually become the Ten Tails body. And that's what leads me to this question. Do you think the Geto Mazo statue is actually the physical body of the Ten-Tailed Demon? Alright guys, that was it for this week. We'll see you next time. Super Kami Guru 9000, out!
Chocolate rain, a baby born will I be formless in chocolate chocolate